So we're spending a little over a month here in LA this summer, which is really exciting. I want to show you guys what the first week was kind of like living here, because this was my first time living here. So I'll show you around the Airbnb. This is where Stephanie works. This is where we watch movies. These are some of the questionable decorations placed around the house. This is where I store my special things. Okay, it's just camera junk. This is where Steph keeps her shoes. This is where I keep my shoes. This is where Kilowa is supposed to eat her food. This is the backyard. I like to journal here. This is a staircase that leads to nowhere. And this is where I work really, really hard and play with Kilowa. Let me show you how we got to this point. We are going to California. It all started back up in Portland, Oregon, where we left our home and drove 7 hours to a little town called Arcadia. This town is famous for a lot of things, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it's famous for its bagels, cause holy were these things good. This is the place we stayed that night. Really cute Airbnb in the backyard of someone's home.
It is by far the cutest Airbnb I've ever stayed in.
We had a parking spot and some nice decor, really comfortable place to stay for the night. I could see myself living in a place like this moving forward. The next day we started our long drive all the way down to San Jose, California. We stopped at the Redwoods along the way and visited the Avenue of the Giants, which was really, really cool, and Steph had never been there before. It was dark by the time we got to our hotel, so the next morning we were pretty beat, as you can tell, but we pulled it together, got some coffee and fresh air. Our last drive was a long one, going from San Jose down to our home for the next 35 days, Los Angeles, California. Are you a Cali girl?
California girl, we're unforgettable. Navy dukes, bikinis on top.
I was excited to have brought some film for the journey because oh boy have I been hoarding this stuff. Basically, as most of you photographers know, one of the easiest and best gifts you can get a photographer is film. I don't know if it's the only thing I've been gifted the past 2 years, but it sure feels like it. Anyway, I brought all of this and hopefully I can shoot most of it while I'm down here in LA. Stay tuned for that video shortly. First couple of days in LA were fast and fun. First night I got in town, Fall Out Boy were playing a sold out show in LA, so I had to make it there. I brought along my Contax T2 and shot these photos. All these were shot on Portrait 800 pushed one stop with the Contax T2, which is absolutely insane that you can get these kind of concert photos with a point and shoot film camera. Bring Me the Horizon was an opener for the show the next day, and you know I had to get a photo pass. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a big Bring Me the Horizon fan, especially back in the day, and I shot a couple photos in the pit. Again, Portrait 800 with the Contax T2, crazy. Also, peep my friends John and Maddie Vogel, absolutely killing it in the photo pit. Really good to see them after all this time. This is for sure my favorite image from the entire roll. Just the timing of Ollie at the front of the pit like this, it really made for a great image. Next up was the 4th of July. We started the day by going to see our friends Zach and Betty, play in their backyard, swim in the sun, and hang outside. These photos were shot in an experimental film stock called Heatwave 800 that I actually found here on YouTube. I'm going to link his channel down below because I really like the end result of this film. After that, we headed to our friend Jack's house, which was the 100 Thieves going away party for their content house, which was really cool. There's a lot of people, really good food, and friends that I have not seen in ages. The next day, I really wanted to try out some of this Cinestill 400D. I have heard nothing but good things about this film stock, so I opened up a fresh box and loaded up the Mamiya 7ii. Also, can we take some time to appreciate how aesthetically pleasing loading film is? I also brought along my cute little Marlboro/Canon bag that I found at a Goodwill. It fits the Contax T2 perfect, and quick tip, if you're ever looking for straps on a bag, you can always just use these Peak Design straps and throw a camera strap on there. Works great. That night, me, Steph, and Kilowa drove out to Malibu to watch the sunset. These images were shot on that Cinestill 400D that I was talking about earlier, and I really like how the colors came out. I definitely want to try it again. Also, I didn't know this, but dogs are banned from most beaches in LA. Is that a thing people listen to, or is it more of a don't be an idiot type situation? Some extra photos from the beach, and I think that this photo of the two people walking with the two trash cans is my favorite. I'm not totally sure why it stands out to me so much, but I really liked how it turned out. As the sun set, the sky started blowing up with this amazing pink to blue gradient. We basically just drove through Malibu until the sun was completely gone and there wasn't any light to shoot photos. Here's some images with the Contax T2. All the B-roll in this video goes to Stephanie, so if we can get a thank you Stephanie in the comments, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also right here, I'm trying to explain that I like to overexpose my film and expose for the highlights because typically if you expose for the shadows, the highlights are going to be way too blown out. It's a whole thing. Some more photos of the sunset from that night and us just pulling over, snapping photos, getting back in and out of the car. Typically how these photos and photo shoots kind of come to be. That's a cool photo. So I'm a little bummed about this. I completely burned this film stock, and I think it's because when I was rewinding it, I didn't have it perfectly wound or something, so part of it was exposed to light. I'm not totally sure, but yeah, there's a film burn there.
The Mamiya 7ii.
Mamiya 7ii. Pretty camera. I would love to hear your guys' opinion on the Contax T2. Is it an overrated camera, or is it an underrated camera, or right where it needs to be? Let me know in the comments. And Mamiya 7ii. The 2. Zach Gassar wants this one, but you can't. Bad Bunny! The next morning, I dropped off my film to be developed, and while I impatiently waited, I decided to make some coffee. No, we could not bring the espresso machine all the way down to LA, but the next best option would be an AeroPress. So here's the deal. I love the AeroPress. I use this thing camping all the time, but I've never actually used it at home to make my daily coffee. So it's really simple. All you have to do is get this filter, put it in the bottom, tap the thing, and then you're kind of squared away. You gotta go ground some beans. So let's go ground these Bastion coffee beans we brought all the way from Portland. I like to grind my espresso really, really thin, like as thin as possible, because I just think I get a better espresso that way. Tea kettle, old school, very cool. Dump the coffee into the thing, take your hot water, pour it over there for about 2 minutes, let it sit. Then you're gonna stir it after 2 minutes, and then press the shit out of it. And all you have to do is push down on the top of that, and then you get some juicy, sweet bean water. I'm gonna go drink that. Once my coffee was finished, I picked up my film and headed over to my friend Linus's house, who generously offered for me to use a scanner. All right, what are you doing?
We're setting up Jake to scan some photos on the Frontier.
Linus was kind enough to let me bring my 8 rolls over here to use his madhouse of a Frontier scanner and computer from when?
2005 maybe?
Sick.
Pretty old.
If you don't know about Linus and his work, you should, because it's absolutely incredible. Be sure to check out his page. I linked it in the description down below. All these images you guys are seeing right now were scanned by Linus. So Linus, thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate it. That night, I wanted to try out some expired Fujifilm that I've been holding onto for ages. So again, loaded up the Mamiya 7ii and drove out to Santa Monica for the sunset. Really chill night. Just parked our car off the Highway 1, set up a blanket, and watched the sunset. I shot these images with my Contax T2 and Mamiya 7ii. These photos turned out really good, especially the medium format stuff. I need to shoot more medium format. I have access to it and I just don't do it enough. So I was happy to do that. And then 35mm also popped off down here. Sunsets in LA, they're just they're hard to beat and hard to shoot a bad photo. Shot so much film, so fun. It's really refreshing coming down here from Portland. People always say Portland is where young people go to retire, and I'm starting to agree with it. Just happy to be around so much life so close to where we are staying. The next day, my friend Sam, who is an incredible photographer, picked me and Steph up and took us to a place called Angel's Crest. I was blown away with this place. It was so close to downtown LA, but also felt like I was so out in nature. It was a nice break from the craziness of the city. Now, I know I say this all the time, but I do love these photos, and I love Sam, and it's just cool to be able to shoot photos with him again and hang out. We haven't done that in a long time, and since my accident, I really haven't seen him much. So shooting these photos reminded me of like a lot of good times, a lot of old road trips, and a lot of memories that I have with Sam, and I'll forever have those. So Sam, thanks for driving us around. I can't wait to hang out more while we're in LA, and yeah, more Mamiya 7ii juiciness. These came out really, really good. We watched the sunset and headed back into town. The second half of the film in this video was scanned and developed by 35mm Pro, and I'm really happy with the results. Be sure to check them out if you ever need film developed in LA. For those of you wondering about my leg and where we are at in the healing process, well, it's still day by day. I currently am using my bone transport machine to move my bone and try to keep it growing. Also doing as much physical therapy exercises as I can to gain some strength while also maintaining and massaging it regularly. This is gonna suck, I already feel it. Process is definitely not the most fun, but happy with how things are moving forward, day by day. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of a look into my first week here in Los Angeles. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. It's greatly appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.